Right, guys, welcome to the channel. This is going to be my second video on mental health in the Bible. This time I'm going to do a small case study of Joseph. Can't remember everything about this story. I did skim the Bible, I think yesterday or maybe the day before, and also had a little look through today. But it's probably not that fresh in my memory, so I'm just going to do my best, basically. So yeah, here we go. Story of Joseph. Basically, from what I can remember, Joseph gets given a gift, a coat of many colours, by his dad, Jacob, or Israel as he's known in the beginning, I think initially, and then his name becomes Jacob. I'm not sure, really, something like that anyway. But yeah, then Joseph has a dream, and it's that he's ruling over his brothers. So he tells his brothers about these dreams, who are already kind of jealous of him because of the coat, and it only adds to the resentment and the jealousy kind of thing. So they plan to kill him, I think, if I remember rightly. But in the end, they decide not to kill him, but they sell him into slavery. Basically, they sell him to some traders, and I believe he ends up being sold to Potiphar. Is it? Potiphar is Potiphar the Pharaoh's cupbearer? Could be wrong here. I can't remember the story perfectly, but I think Potiphar might be Pharaoh's cupbearer. No, that's not right. Potiphar is who's Potiphar? Oh God, trust me to forget this. Potiphar, I think, is something to do with Pharaoh. Maybe God, what is Potiphar? Maybe a priest, or no, Potiphar's maybe one of Pharaoh's high priests or something like that, perhaps. I can't really remember. You'll have to check this out for yourself, but I'm going to tell you what I can remember anyway. I'm going to do my best. Yeah, but anyway, he gets sold to Potiphar, and yeah, basically Potiphar's wife takes a liking to Joseph and tries to seduce him, and yeah, Joseph is righteous and rejects her advances, and therefore people see him as being righteous, and eventually, or initially, but basically, I think Potiphar's wife lies to Potiphar and says basically Joseph made advances towards her. So in fury, Potiphar puts Joseph in prison, and but God gives Joseph favor in prison. He makes him gain favor with a warden, or the warder, prison warden. Yeah, prison warden. He makes him gain favor with a prison warden, and basically yep, Joseph tells a dream in prison, I believe, where I think Pharaoh's cupbearer's in prison with him, if I remember rightly, and Joseph tells a dream where I think it's a baker or someone ends up dying. Something happens to them, they end up dying, but the cupbearer, Joseph predicts that he'll survive. And anyway, I think eventually Joseph gets out of prison or something, and the warden, or not the warden, the cupbearer, basically remembers the Hebrew l- guy, as in Joseph, who told predicted them the dream, and because I think Pharaoh's worried about something at the time, maybe uh the dreams he keeps having or something. So I think this is, if I can remember rightly, I think the my head's going blank. Yeah, I think not the warden, but Jesus, is this warfare or something? I think it is. Do you know what I mean? Seriously, think it is. But yeah, not the warden. Ah, Christ. I think this is warfare. I seriously do. It's like something's come over my mind and he's not making me be able to think straight. Yeah, not the warden, but not the prison warden, but the cupbearer. Yeah, I've got there in the end. The cupbearer. The cupbearer basically remembers Joseph and says to Pharaoh about this Hebrew lad he knew that this is when the cupbearer's been the cupbearer. He said because Joseph predicted he'd get out of prison, the cupbearer, and be Pharaoh's cupbearer again. And yeah, so the cupbearer says, "I remember this Hebrew lad who predicted my fortune in prison, sort of thing, like what would happen and stuff." So Pharaoh summoned him, got him to find Joseph or summon Joseph or something, and Joseph predicted Pharaoh's dream or something, or like interpreted Pharaoh's dream. This is from what I can remember. Obviously, this is just me doing the best off the top of my head, so you'll have to check this out yourself, guys. That's all I can say. But yeah, Pharaoh's that impressed. I think, if I remember rightly, that he makes him head of next to Pharaoh in command in the whole of Egypt, sort of thing, and gives him lots of duties, like makes him head of the land and stuff. And yeah, anyway, what else? So yeah, there's a famine or something. There's a famine in all the lands or something, and because Joseph predicted it through a dream, if I remember rightly, to do with Pharaoh. Like it was like seven, all sevens. Like there was seven something, and that was going to be 7 years of famine and 7 years of abundance and stuff like that kind of thing. You'll have to check this out, guys, for yourself. This is just me doing the best off the top of my head, like I've said. But yeah, and yeah, so Joseph predicted Pharaoh's dream and explained all this to Pharaoh. Like, so yeah, there was a famine in Egypt, I think, and all the other lands. I think in Israel and stuff. So anyway, like, I think Joseph's brothers go to Egypt because they hear there's grain in the land or food, sort of thing, and Joseph like is the head of the land, and I think he recognizes his brothers or something. So he speaks to them like he looks different. He's got a beard and stuff, and he's wearing like different clothes and stuff, so they don't recognize him, but he recognizes them, sort of thing. And he says, like, I think he tests them. He kind of says, bring the youngest brother, which was like Joseph's uh other brother, born from Joseph's mother, because they're all from different mothers, I believe, if I remember rightly, or something like that. And yeah, so he tests them like to see the loyalty towards his other brother, sort of thing, or his youngest brother, sort of thing. So yeah, they kind of like, I think he says, bring to me your youngest brother as a slave, um, sort of thing. And I think the one brother says, tells him about his dad, and Joseph asks him about his dad, knowing it's his dad. Obviously, I said this, like, but yeah, Joseph basically says to his brother, bring my brother, and not my brother because he didn't tell me it was his brother at the time, but bring your brother and I as a slave. So his brother says, my dad will surely die if, because he's already lost his one son from his wife, and if he loses his other son, surely from that relationship, surely it'll kill him, his two youngest sons or whatever. So yeah, so Joseph agrees, I think, something like that, or asks him to go and bring his brother to him so he can see him, or something like this. Anyway, so he yeah, he does that. Basically, he brings his brother and he explains things to his father and stuff. Is this right? Have I got this right? I don't know. Have I got this right? She's just off the best. It's just the best, to the best of my ability, guys. Off the top of my head, that's all I can say. But yeah, I should have probably wrote this down and then done it, but I don't write things down. I never do. But yeah, it helps you memorize it that way, I guess. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, Joseph. I think Joseph says to his brother, bring your brother, or something like that. So yeah, I think he does. I think the brothers do bring him in the end. And he recognizes his brother, sort of turns away or something, starts weeping, and then comes back to him and like says, did he say bring? I think Joseph revealed himself to his brothers, like once he started, or he went into a corner or something, started weeping, then revealed himself to his brothers and said and explained the situation. I'm your brother Joseph, who you sold into slavery or whatever, and basically I forgive, I forgive you, etc., etc. Said it was all God's plan and it happened for a greater reason. So what you meant for harm, kind of thing, worked out for good, because it was to like save your lives and save, I guess, I don't know if it was the Egyptian people or the Jews or what, like maybe both, like sort of things. So it all happened for a purpose, basically. That's what he said. And yeah, and then like his brothers went back, told Jacob, his dad, that Joseph was alive and stuff. And at first I think at first Jacob didn't believe him, but something made him realise that, I think it was something Joseph said, like about a chariot or something to bring Jacob on, like, and then he thought that's Joseph for whatever reason, and yeah, he believed he was alive. So then he went to see. I think they all. What happened then? Did he? I think Jacob went to see Joseph or something, and something like that. Or they all went to see him or something. This is where my mind starts going a bit not that great. But anyway, in the end, Jacob ended up. I think he got ill or something, or he was on his sort of like near the end of his days, sort of thing, and I think Pharaoh told Joseph to settle the family in, I think it was Goshen or something like that, or another city or something. I think it was Goshen. I'm not sure, in Egypt, which was like the best city and stuff. But anyway, like Jacob blessed Pharaoh, if I remember rightly, and spoke to him about the family and stuff, blessed him and stuff, and yeah, like Jacob got ill, and then he asked Joseph to bury him in where Abraham, Isaac, etc. were buried. Uh, and his, like his ancestors basically, or the people, well, not his ancestors, because there weren't that many people before him since time began. But you know what I mean, like the forefathers, the first people basically. He Yeah, he asked to be buried where they were buried, kind of thing. His mum and dad and their mum and dad and etc. kind of thing. Yeah, so he done that, and Jacob ended up dying. It's really sad. He got me he got me teary reading this. I swear it really did. Really touching. Like, and Jacob lied across his dad and wept and stuff. It's sad. It's getting to me now, to be honest. But yeah, that happened. Like, and yeah, so he died. He was buried, and then Joseph. I think his brother has become the tribes of Israel, if I remember rightly, or was it? It was either Jake. I think Jacob and Joseph and his brothers become all the tribes of Israel, and if I remember rightly, and their sons had something to do with land or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Land in Israel or something, or maybe in Egypt or something like that. But yeah, guys, that's the story basically. Joseph ended up dying himself eventually. I think he had, I don't know how old he lived till, I can't remember off the top of my head, but he had quite a few kids and stuff. But yeah, imagine, you can see what the mental health was like from Joseph by just hearing that, like how his brothers sold him into slavery and stuff. What that must have been like. Then seeing his brothers, embracing his brothers, seeing them like say, "I'm your slaves. we're your slaves." Like, once they finally realised that Joseph, well, they thought Joseph was going to exact revenge at one point, if I remember rightly, because they were just worried because of what they'd done to him. But but obviously he didn't, like, and yeah, he embraced them or whatever, and settled them in Goshen, so the whole family. So it's like, because he had, obviously he was second in command to Pharaoh, so over the land, second in command in Egypt basically, and yeah, so next to Pharaoh. So yeah, that's the story of Joseph, guys. But yeah, you can imagine what his mental health was like. You can also imagine what his dad's mental health was like, thinking he was going to lose Benjamin, which was his youngest son after Joseph, or before Joseph even. Like, you know what I mean? Like his youngest son, like, and he already thought he lost his youngest son, Joseph, or his one of his youngest sons, Joseph, who he loved the most, and who he gave that color, that Technicolor Dreamcoat to, kind of thing. Yeah. So he thought he lost his favourite son. Then he thought he was going to lose his youngest son, like, or his next favourite son. It's like, imagine what Jacob was going through. You know what I mean? Joseph and Jacob in that story, their mental health must have been terrible. But Joseph being in prison, being sold into slavery, being reconciled with his brothers and his dad after so long. Jesus, his mental health must have been terrible. Seriously, it must have been like, he must have been so heartbroken. Like, at times, he must have been really heartbroken. Another one like Job, he's seriously had it tough. He's carried his cross for sure. Do you know what I mean? Before, well, that was before Jesus came, I think. Yeah, obviously it was. Yeah, it's the Old Testament. But yeah, yeah, some people following God in throughout history. It's not an easy walk, guys. So this is what I'll say to you. It's the most rewarding walk, but it's the hardest walk. Nothing good ever came easy. So when you're having a bad day and when the devil's coming against you, just remember nothing good ever came easy. And people from the Bible attest. Read these stories, and you'll see what life as a Christian's like. Do you know what I mean? In one form or another, it may be different now, different society and stuff, but the same problems still exist, and it may be in a different kind of different forms, but they still exist. And if you're following Christ, you're going to be persecuted against. So be under no illusions. It's not going to be an easy walk, but it's going to be the most rewarding one and the only one worthwhile. Basically, it's better to give your life now to Jesus or God now than do it at the end of your life. Do you know what I mean? Because God's got so many blessings for you. You're gonna suffer. That's part of the walk, but the blessings, in my opinion, they make the suffering worthwhile. Do you know what I mean? And you get to heaven, which is the biggest thing. Do you know what I mean? The whole reason we're here, other than worshiping God. So sooner you can worship God and pick up your cross and endure and run the race, finish the race, and come to an expected end, then surely, you know what I mean, it's like I say, if you understand things, if you can perceive things, it's the only, in my eyes personally anyway, it's the only race worthwhile. It's the only path worthwhile. It's just what I believe. Do you know what I mean? It's the hardest path. It's the hardest path. Like you get, like I say, you're gonna be persecuted against. You're gonna suffer. You can't avoid it. It just comes with it. There's a devil and there's a God. If you follow God, the devil's gonna come against you and he's gonna try and cause you as many problems as he possibly can. He's gonna look for any chink in your armor. He's going to look for any chink in your armor and he's going to try and find any weakness he can to exploit. But God is greater than the devil, and God will see you through if you put your faith in him, you surrender to him and you trust in him. He'll never let you down. He's never let me down. He's never let me down, and slowly he's changing my life. He's changed my life already in many ways, but he's slowly changing it, and making it storied and better, whatever you want to call it. This is the work of the Lord, and yeah, he can do the same for you. But it's not an easy walk, guys. It's not. But nothing good ever came easy. You probably heard that said before, and it's 100% true. If you want the quick road to success or like happiness, there's no such thing. Do you know what I mean? It's hard work. It's hard work for. It's enduring. It's suffering. It's persevering. It's suffering and it's enduring. That's all I can say. That they're the biggest things. But there are some good times too. Even though the suffering's hard, there are the blessings, like the good times, kind of like keep you going. That's all I can say, and see you through and make your life worthwhile. That's what I found. I haven't experienced a lot of it yet. Probably so far it's been worse than it's been good, if I'm honest. But God always keeps me going. Always, He'll always pick me up when I'm low, and whenever He corrects me if I'm wrong on anything, He always builds me up after. So yeah, guys, that's the video. That's the story. Anyway, I hope this video has blessed you in some way, or anything I've said. But yeah, I hope the video has blessed you in some way, or helped you in some way or opened your mind in some way, like I always say, basically. Yeah, that's it, guys. God bless, guys. Much love, and I'll get some more content up soon. And please feel free to subscribe or like the video or share, or just use it as a reference. But yeah, guys, thanks ever so much for watching as always, and take care. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.